Make some noise for your Guerrilla Press hosts, EJ, Cameron, and Nick Hausman.
Yeah! Hey! High five! High five! Front row guys! High five! High five! High five! High five! Oh my God! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Guerrilla Press! How we doing, folks? How we feeling? Cold. I love cold and woo! I did ask that the heat be turned up in here, so it should get warmer. EJ fought for it to stay colder because he said people laugh more when they're cold and uncomfortable. Right? Somebody's like, it's true. Gee, you can see everybody's warm and comfortable. They're like, yes. I fought for you to be warm. We're going to fight fascism tonight. How does that sound to everybody? Yeah? Fuck the Trump administration. We have some very big primary elections on the horizon here coming up. And we have somebody in the house here tonight that we're going to speak with who knows all about what's going down in the primary. He's going to spill a little bit of tea, tell you who you should be voting for. She's the author of the Girl, I Guess Voter Guide. It's Stephanie Skora is going to be on the stage here later today. You look awestruck. You're just like, that was an intro. That was just great. Awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, and afterwards, if you start thinking about your district, if you have any questions, we will open the floor to questions. So start thinking about it now, so you're not surprised at the end of the show.
Yeah, we did that before. We came to the audience. We asked them for things, and they all just sat there like they had blacked out and shit their pants. And so we would prefer that you all be adept and ready to roll here tonight.
Yeah, if you're going to black out and shit your pants, be the president.
And with that, hey, EJ.
Hey, Nick.
Let's talk headlines. All right, so we're going to start off with some jokes here tonight. A little bit of humor. Talk about the headlines of the week. It's been an upper of a week, guys. 2003 called, and they wanted another unnecessary invasion. And unfortunately, Donald Trump was awake to answer that call. It's like Groundhog Day, but everyone's going to die.
So far, the campaign has resulted in the deaths of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and more than 40 other Iranian officials whose names Trump cannot pronounce.
When asked for comment, Chuck Schumer said he plans to write his most sternly written post-it note yet and place it where he knows Trump will see it, on the backside of Caroline Leavitt. We were going to make that joke about Ivanka, but she's aged out. You're so proud of that.
Donald Trump versus Iran wasn't the only heated rivalry heading into the State of the Union, as the U.S. men's hockey team was in attendance after their brief 5-minute stint as American heroes.
It's true, and for those that don't know, Kash Patel flew to Milan to become the world's oldest Make-A-Wish kid by celebrating with the U.S. men's hockey team. He was so happy, his eyes burst out of his head. He's a fucking freak.
The U.S. women's gold-winning hockey team declined Trump's invitation to attend the State of the Union address after he joked to the men's hockey team that he would have to bring the women's team and that he'd be impeached if he didn't. Which is funny, because he should be impeached for all the underage women he invites to Mar-a-Lago.
Not really a joke, more of a, yes, take him to The Hague. Trump was applauded by Republicans for ending DEI, whereas Democrats would have only cheered him had he DIED'd. It's true.
Representative Ilhan Omar and Representative Rashida Tlaib protested the speech, yelling at Trump that he is responsible for the deaths caused by ICE. Trump responded by assaulting the Capitol. See, when there's ice on the ground, you throw salt. And when you attack something, it's assaulting. Jokes are better when you explain them.
It's good. This was the longest State of the Union address, which explains why Republicans kept having to stand up. Speaking of standing up for something, Texas Democratic Republican Representative Al Green held up a sign that said, "Black people are not apes," and was quickly escorted out, making him lucky to miss the 1 hour and 48 minutes of early onset dementia.
In Black History Month news, the BAFTAs happened. And conveniently, there's been a rise of conservatives with Tourette's.
Oh. The father of, I know, right? It's awful. The father of the Georgia school shooter said Santa Claus bought his son a rifle. And when asked for comment, Santa said, oh no. It's awful.
The Supreme Court has ruled that many of Donald Trump's tariffs are unconstitutional, a word Trump learned when the ruling was read aloud.
And in response, Trump ramped up global tariffs, causing the stock market to crash more than 600 points. Trump attempted to right the market's impotence the only way he knew. Cialis. I tried.
The Clintons were called in for depositions this week about ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Bill Clinton said under oath, "I saw nothing, I did nothing wrong." And we've heard that one before, said Monica Lewinsky.
If you remember the 90s, you probably laughed. Paramount is owned by Trump loyalist Larry Ellison, which means, that was botched. Warner Brothers Discovery is going to be bought by Paramount, which is owned by Trump loyalist Larry Ellison. And that means that one of the N's in CNN is about to stand for Nazi, while the other N is about to stand for, would you like to say it, EJ?
What is that? I don't get it.
Oh, sorry. Okay, got
What's
it.
the other N for?
Oh, got it. Tourette's. BAFTAs.
BAFTAs. Netflix has walked away from their Warner Brothers deal, clearing the path for Paramount. Netflix said the new price is no longer financially attractive, unlike their new subscription price of $69.99.
And nobody asked for it news. Floyd Mayweather is going to be fighting Mike Tyson in a boxing match. This will be the most challenging fight for Mayweather since he opened a book.
The Northeast coast was slammed with a winter storm, bringing up to 33 inches of snow, which is 32 inches more than Trump has ever slammed anything in his life.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the author of the Girl, I Guess Voter Guide. It is Stephanie Skora.
Woo!
Yes, Stephanie.
Stephanie.
All right.
Oh my God. I feel like the prophet Elijah. You left an extra chair for me and everything. This is how I test to see if there's Jews in the audience.
Yeah, no, I got that.
If I hold this equidistant between the two of us, does it work or does it not?
You should hold it. You should
Okay,
hold it.
I should hold it
a little bit
I'll just-
down. Hold
okay.
it where you would like it would be
Great.
on you.
We'll just awkwardly pass it back and forth like professionals. Yeah.
Excellent content.
Great.
Excellent.
Great.
Stephanie, thank you for taking the time to come chat with us here today. Before we go any further, you have something big dropping tomorrow.
Yes.
I know you want everyone to know about. Can you tell us a little bit about what is coming their way tomorrow?
Yes, I have my digital palm card coming out tomorrow. It's like the big pieces of paper that you get with a sad child on the front and J.B. Pritzker's face on the back. It's a list of names. I don't have to kill a tree to print it. And it links to the voter guide, which is too many pages of explanations about these races. But it's basically an easy way to make sure that if you want to follow my recommendations for who you should vote for, you can take it with you on your phone into the polling place and just scroll through the slides instead of having to scroll through the guide.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so everybody keep an eye out for that.
Comes out at 8 a.m. tomorrow.
8 a.m. tomorrow.
Yes.
Now, this has been a particularly interesting primary campaign. You've written your longest voter guide ever.
Yes.
What made this voter guide so much longer than other voter guides you've done in the past?
Well, two things. One is that I don't love myself. The second is that there were 5 open federal offices. These congressional races were a motherfucker. And I had a lot to say about all of them. And had so much to say, in fact, that we are changing how we cover Congress going forward so that we never have to write this much about federal office ever again, because I do not care about the federal government.
Sure.
And do not particularly believe in the federal government.
No.
And have yet devoted so much of my time and brain to thinking about the federal government. And I never want to do that again. So we're going to reorient the guide to be much more local. We're sort of narrowing our endorsement criteria for federal office. And this guide was 30 pages longer than the previous longest guide, and that's never happening again. We're going to set sort of a 75-page hard limit for the long ones from now on, because this was too much.
Now thank you, Steven. Look at that. I feel like I should hold over.
I'm a professional.
Look at us,
I'm gonna
professionals.
do this. Here, I'm gonna just call an audible. We'll share my microphone. Let's let Steph keep hers. There you go.
Yeah, that makes Omaha.
Sure.
Room 42. Now, you've been doing making these guides for years. What got you started? What inspired you to say, okay, I'm going to do this?
You know, hold on. I'm going to hold this.
Keep yours.
I'm gonna clip this.
Going
Yeah, okay.
really fucking well.
Great,
Yes,
great. So we started these about 8 years ago. My friend Ellen and I had a bunch of grouchy leftist friends. Who was a leftist in 2018? Good. I'm proud of all of you for not saying yes to that.
I had to think about it.
So
Leftist.
it was.
Who calls them leftists, by the way? Who calls them leftists?
Well, themselves.
I guess.
Yeah, girl, I guess. So, the pissed off political people in 2018, sort of the en vogue reason to not do anything about the state of the world was that voting validated settler colonialism. And we thought, okay, well, that's stupid. You should still go vote because people are still going to get elected with or without you, and you may as well participate, even if you disagree with the system. So we wrote a voter guide for all of our pissed off communist friends to say, you know what? You don't have to do anything that makes yourself not feel good about your political purity. Here, we've done all the work for you. Go and vote anyway. And they liked it, so they asked us to write another one. And we wrote another one, and everybody liked that one. So we got stuck continuing to do it. And then Ellen stopped doing it after the 2019 municipal election, which was very wise of her. And then I kept doing it, and I brought another friend on, Reagan Draper, to help in 2024. And we're going to keep going until we die, I guess.
Yeah, now you are here because Demi Palachek couldn't be here,
yes.
right? And she's in the 13th district, and we were at, by the way, her campaign breakfast last weekend with you, where we got introduced for the first time.
Yes.
Why Demi? Why are you going out on a limb? Talk to us a little bit about why the 13th district has become so kind of weird this particular cycle.
Sure. Well, the 13th district is weird this particular cycle because we just did this 4 years ago in the 13th district. State house seats don't really change hands that frequently in Illinois, especially in Chicago. And so having somebody get elected in this big upset in 2022, which was when Han Win got elected, and then leaving 4 years later to go fail at a congressional run is somewhat unusual. So we're having to elect a new person, and the race is pretty contentious. There's 5 people in it. Demi is not only the most progressive, but the most independent progressive. There's another progressive running, Sanjay Kumar, who is a very nice man, but really is just being put up by a bunch of progressive community groups, and the groups are fine, but he doesn't really have any independent thoughts aside from what the groups tell him. And when I am thinking about who I want to represent part of the city, I live in Rogers Park, but I used to live in Edgewater, and when I'm thinking about who I want to have represent any part of the far north side, I want somebody who, when they're in the room fighting for their constituents, doesn't need to make a call to check with their activist friends about what the right thing to say is. I want somebody who's going to be able to throw the fuck down. And Demi will punch a motherfucker in the face, and I like that about her. So, yeah, I mean, Demi is the best candidate. She's the most qualified. She's the most progressive and the most independent. She is a National Guards woman who is an advocate against sexual assault in the military, for trans folks retaining their military benefits. She has been to Broadview before it was cool and kept going over and over and over again. Is being court-martialed by the Trump administration's Department of Defense because she is standing up for people who are treated poorly in the military. And she's been working in her community for years. And I think that's the exact kind of person that, Andersonville, Uptown, Lincoln Square, the parts of that district need in order to represent them. One of the most diverse parts of the city.
Now, Stephanie, outside of punching motherfuckers in the face,
it's a qualification.
I know, high up on mine too.
There's a lot of people in Springfield who need to be punched in the face.
I feel like not enough people get punched in the face as adults. They just run around.
That's correct.
Around.
Yes.
I feel like we wouldn't be in this issue right now if more motherfuckers got punched in their face.
Yes.
Just corrected, just autocorrect. Bow! Hit him in the mouth.
Yes.
Right? So, but besides punching motherfuckers in the face, what are some of your other requirements, especially when you're making your guide? What are you looking for? Maybe there's somebody who won't punch somebody in the face, but what else are you looking for?
Well, punching is always a plus. So we've got a very long list of sort of just criteria that we evaluate a candidate on. It's at the beginning of the guide. We explain the methodology and how it works and how we make our endorsements. But we're sort of generally evaluating them on their progressiveness on a variety of positions. First and foremost, for federal offices, is their position on Palestine and Palestinian human rights. For non-federal offices, it's a piece of the puzzle, but not the whole thing. I don't necessarily care what my state representative thinks about foreign policy. I care what they think about property taxes. But it's a little bit of everything, right? You know, you've got to be pro-choice, you've got to be vocally pro-LGBTQ, you've got to be pro-fiscal responsibility. Fiscal responsibility is progressive. We have to tax the wealthy, but then also when we have their money, we have to figure out how to spend it properly and not, fritter it away on bullshit. It's an ever-expanding list of assorted progressive political pride. I could pull out my phone and read the whole thing, but I feel like it's less interesting that way.
You've not been shy about your Jewish heritage here.
Yes.
Now, you do back quite a few candidates that obviously are pro-Palestinian, right? What is your response to people who intertwine support for Israel with support for being Jewish? That's something comes up all the time.
Sure.
I feel like right now on TV,
Sure.
It's just people trying to, intertwine those things together.
Well, I say they're what's wrong with Judaism and they're what's wrong with the world right now. The reason that Jewish people are less safe today than we have been as a population in 40 years is because of people who are diehard pro-Israel, hardline Zionists who spend every hour of every day trying to inextricably link Jewish culture and Jewish religion with the atrocities committed by the state of Israel, when in fact they have nothing to do with each other. Israel is a product of violent European settler colonialism. And if we as Jews living outside of Israel have been duped into supporting that, both culturally and financially, and linking that so closely to our identity as a people, we're gonna wind up putting ourselves back in the ghetto. And I have a really unique relationship with my culture and my race. I was born to really old parents. My father was born in the 50s. And for those of you who don't know, who haven't studied, who didn't major in gender and women's studies like I did, Jewish people became white in the United States in the 60s, when people started feeling bad about how Israel kept getting attacked because Israel kept poking people in the face and then folks bombed them because that's what happens. After the Holocaust, Jews started to become white. It didn't really catch on until the 60s, when there was sort of this concentrated effort to split the civil rights movement that had really high Jewish participation, try to section Jews off from our support of black people by kind of granting us access to whiteness culturally. And you saw some of the social restrictions on Jewish people start to get rolled back. Well, my father was born before that. So he was born a Jew, grew up white, and then died as a white person. I was born as a white person. I feel like I'm going to live in a world where I die a Jew, because Jews now, thanks to rabid Zionists, have started to experience some very old world anti-Semitism lately. A lot of conspiratorial, weird shit. It doesn't really help that there's a lot of prominent Jews in the media right now for things that are not great.
Whoa. You're not telling me like somebody named like Epstein would be like a big problem for you guys right now, right?
It could only be worse if he was named Goldberg. It's
Leave Whoopi alone.
Whoopi's not even Jewish. Whoopi's not even Jewish. I was so disappointed when I found that out. But no, it's an issue, right? And so when we link our peoplehood to this entity that only exists to perpetuate violence, we should not be surprised when that violence gets visited back upon us. And I feel like that's bad. And so I have spent the last 12, 13 years of my life really vociferously fighting back against this narrative that Jews and Israel are inseparable from each other. In fact, we see now more than ever, there are more Jews opposing Israel as a concept and as an entity, and that's where we should be as a people.
Huzzah! And I mean, you were saying this earlier. You were saying this earlier, but Israel loves you right now, right?
Israel super loves me right now. Yeah. Israel's not too fond of Jews in the United States in general. It's a little bit too into the weeds, perhaps, for an audience that didn't laugh at my Elijah joke, but. Israel has really only had use for Jews who don't live in Israel insofar as it can scare us into either financially supporting it or moving there. But I've been protesting against Israel for many, many, many years. I'm actually banned from the synagogue up the street there on She'emet because I protested in 2018 when they had the Israeli ambassador there. Got thrown out by a member of the Israeli Secret Service. And I'm on a few lists now.
How was that? Were they nice?
Well, nice is relative when you're talking about Israelis who sort of just have like this baseline level of rudeness.
Sure.
They were as expected, no, not.
Okay, great. I'm just curious, right?
No, they
like,
were-
what's that firsthand look like, right?
No, they were not like, oh, hey, can you please? They sort of like grabbed us and threw us out.
Now, our first guest was Kat Abou-Ghazaleh, who you've given the
Yes.
Golden Shrug to, right?
No, not the Golden.
Oh,
we don't give Golden Shrugs for Congress anymore.
That's right. Just
Yes,
local, right. You've endorsed her,
We've
right?
endorsed Kat Abou-Ghazaleh, yes.
Okay, all right. I apologize. Yes. Now I know you didn't want to talk so much about Congress, but because we have had Kat and we've been
Yes.
watching her campaign so closely, her numbers are going up right now.
Yeah.
And I would be remiss if I didn't point out how in the past 48 hours we have, of course, begun this strike on Iran in participation with Israel. Everyone can boo that if you would like.
Boo,
This is a
boo.
cathartic space. You can make that angry noise here. That's fine. How much is that going to play into the primaries now? And part of me feels like Trump did a favor to progressive candidates right now because I feel like people like Kat, who are so staunchly pro-Palestine, they're going to look a lot brighter here, especially 2 weeks out from voting
Yeah.
day. I feel like you're
Yeah.
going to see a lot more progressive candidates get over the line possibly because of what's going on right now. Is that how you read it, or am I off base with that?
It's entirely possible. We don't really know what's going to happen yet. I think it's a little bit too early. Obviously, whenever the United States goes to war, that's bad, and it's good for anti-war candidates because it makes them look right, and they are right. I think really the first indicator of what's going to happen here is the primaries that are happening on Tuesday. There's a handful of Texas and North Carolina and maybe a couple of others are voting on Tuesday. They're actually early voting right now. So the election day vote from those states will really be illuminating as to how this latest attack on Iran is impacting voters domestically and the political choices that they're making. I certainly don't think that it can hurt Kat or anti-war candidates in general, but it's a funky race. There's a lot of misinformation and disinformation going around.
I'm sorry, I have to use my bisinformation joke
Yes, your
there. So-
disinformation, and a lot of it is kind of just fine.
Oh!
Boo. It's a thinker. It's a thinker. But
It is.
it's a complicated race, right? And I think while of course this could help a candidate like Kat, we also could we don't really know. We don't know what's going to happen until we actually see some votes.
It is getting sticky. I was just talking to Nick about this today because I saw an article that Nick Fuentes is even calling for MAGA people to vote Democrat. I guess the best way I can ask, what the fuck?
Things are weird right now. So I actually saw unfortunately I had to see Nick Fuentes' face in order to learn this, but he actually lives in his mother's house in Berwyn. I don't know if you knew that.
I did know that.
Yeah.
Sadly.
He's a sad little suburban boy.
Yes.
So he called on his supporters not to vote, and if they were going to vote Democrat. It's a little bit different. But I think there are a lot of parts of the very nativist, nationalist far right who really believed Trump when he put on this anti-war face in his latest campaign. They were very interested in that. In their view, America first means don't go bomb other places. And they're very upset that he has now gone and bombed other places several times. And I think that they see the fecklessness in the Democratic Party establishment, and I think that they probably are making the calculus, Fuentes in particular, that he can be more effective with ineffective Democrats in power than to be ignored by sort of the bastion of and the figureheads of his own movement.
Isn't that the kind of thing about the like Republicans right now. It's like they're only in it if they're getting attention. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene, the second that she was like, "Wait, you're not going to throw your support behind me?" Well, fuck this then. Am I right? Like it's just straight lasers, not Jewish lasers anymore. You know.
Well, like the day her pension vested, I thought was very funny. Is the day that she resigned.
Oh yeah, there you go. She's like, "I got that bag. Time to get the fuck out of Dodge."
Exactly. It was
Yeah.
very, very funny. But
Oh man, she sucks.
Well, but what we're seeing now actually is that the Republicans are having similar problems to the Democrats, and that their tent has expanded. You know, they are now to a big tent party. It's just everybody in their tent is a nut job. And, you know, when you have a tent full of nut jobs, weird things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the point where, what's my guy, Daniel Cameron?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're like, we're against Mitch McConnell. It's like, oh, is that, they're so like, I'm trying to find the nice word without being too gross, but they're just sucking on Trump's ass with every sort of ad. That was the nice version. That was the nice one.
Daniel Cameron of losing the gubernatorial race to Andy Bashir. Daniel Cameron?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just like, what the fuck? I'm hoping that we can fucking change this shit around because it's getting to the point now where I feel like we need some crazies on our side.
Well, we have crazies on our side. That's me and Kat. So
Y'all are crazy. You're the good crazy.
well, but we are absolutely crazy. We just happen to be in a room full of crazy people. So here's the thing, right? Is we are pretty far on the left flank of what the Democratic Party we're not really even Democrats. That's just where we end up because there's not really another option for us because the Green Party is a joke and socialist parties are weird jokes. So you know, we're crazy people, but we're the fun crazy people. Right? When we do weird shit, it's like knitting in a circle for public good. It's not marching through Charlottesville.
Good.
Yeah.
Knitting over tiki torches.
Yes, yes.
I like that.
We knit under the tiki torches. our tiki torches are properly installed in a backyard.
That's good. That's where they belong.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
next to a nice pool.
Yeah, we got them on sale in a pack at Lowe's, not Home Depot. So
Sure.
yeah.
They suck. Well, while we have Stephanie here, we did ask you guys up top if anybody has any questions about the primaries or their district. Is there anybody who has a question they'd like to, is anybody on the fence about a candidate or a topic that they just like a little bit more information about or any opinions on? Is there anything in the audience? We wanted to open it up right now. Anybody has any questions? We see one hand in the back here.
Okay.
I'll walk over to him right here.
I was
What's your
taking
name?
no hands, so this is great.
What's your name?
I'm Brandon Ebert. I live in the 44th Ward. I live just down the street off the corner of Belmont and Racine.
Okay.
Also, yes, I'm just glad that we're here. And also, I agree that like focusing more on hyperlocal politics is super important, which is also important to keep in mind when we talk about our local elected officials at the aldermanic level. There are lots of things that you can do in a very small way to make tangible impacts in your community. I'm going to get off this pedestal momentarily, but I think it's interesting you talk about this point of like, I don't even want to give the person we were referring to before the time of day, the person living in Berwyn. But when you see someone who has such a stronghold on a far-right group of individuals that are spewing obviously hateful rhetoric that has real demonstrable impacts on certain people that don't look like me, but they defect and they say, vote Democrat. I think it makes you, like you talked about, the feckless, neoliberals that exist in that party now. We have so many progressive individuals that are getting hopefully put into positions of power in very short order. My concern being, how do we continue to hold these individuals accountable once they're in office? Like, how do we continue to make sure that they actually advocate for the people that need it the most? This is class war. This isn't about like race and gender. I mean, these things are always forever entangled, but this is about a divide between those that are in power and those that aren't. How do we continue to hold them accountable when they're in that space?
Awesome. Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brandon, for your question/statement. Yes,
Yeah.
wonderful. No, that's good. Great
More
question.
of a comment. It's a good question/comment. I think, right, the answer sort of is right in front of us, where if we are electing progressives or socialists or whatever to represent us and replace liberals or moderates, well, if they don't do the things that we want them to do, then we should vote them out of office because that's how they're getting there in the first place. I also would caution us against sort of implementing ideological purity tests. I see this happening with Zohran Mamdani right now, where he was elected the mayor of the largest city in the country, and people hate him for doing mayor stuff. And I think that there's a difference between doing everything that you want and doing the job well. A lot of people on the left, part of the left, don't really understand politics at all. They understand politics as they were written in like books written by men with beards. But
the good old days.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they don't actually understand what you have to do to govern, because none of their political examples have ever really effectively governed anything. So I would encourage folks to be realistic, but also be firm, right? If you elected, if somebody progressive runs against Bennett Lawson next year, and that person wins, and the 44th Ward has its first progressive alderperson in who knows how long, since probably Dick Simpson. Then, if that person runs on a platform of building more affordable housing, or voting to continue raising the minimum wage, or standing up for hospitality workers, or investing in public transit, or any of the things that are really important in this particular ward, and they don't do that stuff, then you should run somebody against them and vote them out, or at least pressure them to keep their word. But at the same time, right, if they take an unpopular vote on a difficult subject, it doesn't mean you throw them out with the bathwater. It means you allow them to do what they need to do in order to stay in office, but you hold them accountable to their major campaign promises, which is why one of the things that Guerrilla does is we only base our endorsements based on candidates' public statements and what's in their platform. If you haven't said it in public, if you're only saying it in private, then people can't hold you accountable to it. And so it's that kind of transparency, it's that kind of really public square political commitment that is so important, because voter information is how you actually hold candidates accountable and elected officials accountable, and that's really what this is all about, is high information voting.
Short end, stay on their ass.
Yeah.
As soon as they get in, stay on their ass.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions? Hey, there he is.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll be microphone guy. Hi. What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Henry, and I live just 2 blocks down, actually, on Belmont.
Who doesn't live in this neighborhood?
Both of them.
Okay, 3 people. Great.
I just wanted to ask your thoughts on the Illinois 6th Senate district,
Sure.
and just like the race going on there.
Sure.
I'm fairly familiar, but I don't know, considering it impacts where I live, I feel pretty passionate on it and would love to hear your thoughts, considering you gave a golden endorsement there.
Yeah. You should vote for Nick Unijeski. You should vote for Nick Unijeski.
Who will be our guest next week at the show.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
You should vote for Nick for a lot of reasons. The top 3 of which being he's not a weird bigot. That's always a good thing.
The bar is in hell, Stephanie.
It is.
That's it, just not a bigot.
Well, here's the problem, though, is that Jews don't believe in hell, and so we just keep getting lower and lower underground. Sarah Feigenholtz, the incumbent senator, has said a lot of dumb, bigoted shit about a lot of people. If you actually go to the voter guide and you read, I put 4 of the things that she said about Muslims next to 2 things that Stephen Miller has said about Muslims, and you can't tell which is which is really kind of all you need to know about Sarah Feigenholtz. She's also made some weird anti-Catholic comments, which I referenced earlier. She, despite representing Lakeview and being pro-LGBTQ in public, has been homophobic and transphobic repeatedly to her staff behind closed doors. There are people who are very afraid to speak. I had a lot of people come to me this cycle and tell me stories, and they were afraid to go on the record about them. One really courageous former staffer was willing to do it anonymously, and they had experienced homophobia from Feigenholtz herself directly. But yeah, I mean, she's a crusty old bitch who has been in office for 32 years and, was a very effective member of the legislature while she was in the House. And accomplished a lot of things that, nobody can take that away from her. She did a lot of really important stuff, and she was involved in a lot of really important things in the state. She went over to the Senate 5-6 years ago, has not really been particularly productive in the Senate, and really sucks as a person. And so that's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is that she's been in office for 32 years. Nick Unijeski is 30 years old. I feel like it's kind of time for a change. She doesn't need to continue to do this job. Somebody who is young and connected to the problems in the district and is actually gay should represent Lakeview. Feigenholtz has had a nice run and should really hang it up. And reason number 3 is that she just doesn't understand what is going on in this district anymore. She's too connected to the realtors. She's too connected to the restaurant owners. She's too connected to big business. And she's not connected to the young professionals and the hospitality workers and the nightlife workers and the working class people who make up the Lakeview of today. And so she can't possibly accurately represent them. She has no idea what their problems and lives are like. And because of that, she should be voted out of office. And so we can get somebody like Nick in who has real lived experience in the communities that he's trying to represent.
I love that answer. Thank you by the way, for everybody who gave a question here today. We're going to get to a game in just a second. But before we kind of move into the game section, I just wanted to say, Stephanie, how much I appreciate your candor. I think one of the things that people get dinged on a lot on the left, one of the reasons that we continue to see ourselves losing is people don't feel Democrats are relatable, right? People don't think Democrats are able to show up, use profanities, speak straight to people. And I think one of the things that you do really, really well is talk to people like you're at a bar, right? Talk to people, like I could walk in and sit down and I just want to enjoy having a conversation with you. And you're unapologetic about how you feel, which is like, we won't talk about Berwin Fuckboy anymore, but one of the things about him is he's unapologetic.
Yeah.
He goes out, he says it, you don't like it, fuck you, I'll say it again, right?
Yeah.
What I think is great, Stephanie, about you is that you come out, you say it, if you don't like it, fuck you, I still feel the same way even after you've pushed back on it.
Yeah.
Do you feel like when you speak and when you talk, you're trying to set a tone you hope more Democrats attach themselves to in hopes of really genuinely trying to break through a little bit?
I don't necessarily even really care what Democrats do. Right?
And that's the right fucking attitude, Steph, right?
I think here's the thing, right? And how you describe it is exactly how I describe it, is that the ethos of Guerrilla, I guess, is I want to talk to you about politicians the same way that you would talk to your friend at a bar. If you think that your alderman is a fucking asshole, you're not going to say, oh, well, I really disagree with the positions of Alderman Asshole on a variety of fiscal issues. You're going to say that my alderman's an asshole. And so why in the world would I pull that punch, right? I think that part of the problem with politics and making politics accessible for people who are living regular lives and don't have hours and hours and hours to devote their whole lives to this is that most folks only read about politicians in the news or hear about politicians in the news. And journalists really treat political figures with this reverence that they're trained to, where they're sort of spoken of as these authorities and people who are important people in important rooms making important decisions, and they are. But politicians are also just regular people who got a bunch of votes one time and often continue to get those votes afterwards. They're not any different from you or me. They're not any smarter than you or me. And they shouldn't be talked about as though they're better than you or me. They should be talked about as though they're regular people who we hired to do a job, and sometimes they suck at that job.
I do not want to go over time right now. We're already pushing it. And EJ's worked so hard on this game, and we're going to play the game. And it's a very good game. It's a very good game. I would be remiss, though, if I did not, for the 500th time, bring up... So I used to cover pro wrestling. Right?
Yes.
And you talk about a group of people who sit there and treat people that do not deserve reverence with reverence. It's pro wrestling fucking journalists.
Yeah.
And I mean, you sit there and you're like, oh my God, Hulk Hogan, you are the greatest thing. It's like, that motherfucker's just a racist from Florida. And he's dead now. That's okay. But, like the way that people are conditioned to treat people they see on TV or just like in these positions, it's like, oh, I have to treat you differently because you've done this thing. And it's like, people that are in power, they can be assholes too. You can treat them like they're assholes because they can be assholes.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, of course.
This is the thing, right? Sarah Feigenholtz is the perfect example of that, right? So many people that I know do not like Sarah Feigenholtz as a person have endorsed her for re-election because they're afraid of what she's going to do if they don't go against her, or if they go against her. And Who fucking cares, right? She's just some lady that we hired to be in the state house, and then she got promoted to the state senate because her friend resigned, and she sucks at her job, right? You know, she's not any more important than anybody else, and she loses all that power if she loses her election. And I'm really embarrassed by a lot of the people who I know and who I have relationships with who are sort of lining up to lick her boots because they want to be on her good side because they don't think Nick's gonna win. Well, Nick's gonna win. And when they come out of it on March 18th and they see on the other side that they've put their name on a woman who is an unapologetic bigot and has said horrible things about Muslims and gay people and Catholics and trans people and basically everybody else, they should be ashamed. And I hope that none of us ever forget who those people are when they run for office again.
Yes, and stop waving your Hulk Hogan flags, you assholes.
Yes.
All right, sorry.
Yeah, quit celebrating them. They shit and sleep just like you.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to take a little pivot to a game here. A game. Ooh, yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, my goodness. As you all know, I used to be the Price is Right host on a cruise ship. So,
I didn't know Drew Carey was black.
He is. He
Okay.
is. They drew on him. So the way that this game is Thank you, Mario. The way that this game is going to work, that you both have, I believe, about 11 to 12 cards in front of you.
Okay.
Now, what's written on these cards, I'm not going to show you yet. You're going to look at them, and you're
Okay.
going to try to get the person across from you to say what is on the card without saying the words on the card. If you get it right, you get a point. If you're having a hard time guessing, you can say pass and put the card down.
Okay.
You both will be working together and against each other. It's kind of like the Democrats. So it's beautiful like that, and that's how that's going to work. A little metaphor there. Any questions?
No.
Any questions, Nick?
Do we have a time limit? Is it most points at a time?
Yes, you have a minute on the clock.
Wait, who goes first? How do we do this?
Well, I was going to say that you're a guest, so I was going to have
Okay,
you go
so
first.
if I go first and I get him to say it, then do I just keep going, or how does this
you
work?
keep going, yes.
Until
we run out of time? Or
Oh,
you run
so
out of
I get a
cards?
minute and then he gets a minute.
Yes.
Okay, great.
There we go.
Okay.
Great.
All right.
All good?
I think we're good. Let's do this.
Okay.
Start.
This is a quality of people that is often neglected. It is
Sadness, depression,
if you are depressed, you have bad
thoughts, brain,
more existential than that. Like it's
ennui.
No,
you have
you have poor
judgment,
no.
poor acumen,
No,
poor
It's
feelings, bad brain.
Your blank is bad.
I keep wanting to say brain.
No.
No, your feelings.
How the kind of wellness that you would ascribe to your brain.
Bad.
No.
No, what is it called in general?
What's it called in general?
Dots.
You go and see a therapist for your
Depression.
The grander scale, what just in general?
Yeah.
The general sense.
Anxiety.
pass.
Okay.
We've been shitting on these people all night.
People that Zionists.
Well, yes, but also this is another word for Zionists.
The Jewish people?
No, Democrats.
Democrats.
Yes. All right.
Zero. The first one was mental health.
Oh.
I feel like I did a good job
You
on
did
that.
a good job. You were right in the neighborhood. You're like anxiety, depression. You're like, yes.
Depression.
An umbrella. It's okay. All right.
Okay.
Nick, 0 points for Nick.
Bad brain.
Okay.
I didn't do that on purpose. I didn't say. Okay, so I'm gonna go first now, right?
Great.
Okay.
All right, and start.
Bad wing of the government. Also,
Executive. Legislative.
Bad group
Judicial.
in the government. You put this in your soda to make it cold.
Ice.
Yes, there we go. If you are part of
Nazis.
the Democrats in the center that have been there
Moderates.
for a long time. You're in the center. You've been there for a long time.
Neoliberals.
You're preventing new people from coming up because
Old people.
yes, but old people make up.
There's a trademark.
Senators.
And pass. Stonewall was
Gay people.
Yes.
LGBTQ
Okay.
rights.
But then, okay, that's good. I got it right. Awesome. Okay, you give this to people on a local level you endorse.
Endorsements.
Yes, but what is it? It's like
Shrug, yeah.
But the
Golden Shrug.
There we go.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. You are looking
Jewish.
to
Okay.
Yes, wonderful. But based off of the I'm not going to get this. It's
Reconstructionist.
racial justice.
Okay.
That's beautiful. That means our winner.
The irony of two white people who can't come up with racial justice. But yeah.
And that's why I put it. Folks, thank you so much. Stephanie, you are our very first winner. Give it up for Stephanie.
Thank you so much.
Now, Stephanie, before you go, anything else that you would like to plug and promote and to let all the people know about?
Oh, God.
Right here in that camera, right over that camera one.
Oh, God, I kind of only really do one thing. I write the Guerrilla voter guide. So if you are interested in politically participating in the 2026 primary elections that are happening on March 17th, early voting starts tomorrow, March 2nd at 9 a.m. in all 50 wards and all the suburbs. Go to guerrillaguest.com for all your voting information needs. And while you're there, donate to the nonprofits that Reagan and I work at who pay us enough money so that we don't have to get paid to write the guide.
Hey! Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. Thank you to Alice and Joseph, our technical crew, who kick an incredible amount of ass. They kick an incredible amount of ass. We are Guerrilla Press. We're on YouTube. Go subscribe to us there, please. Go subscribe to our podcast feed. We're all over social media. We'll be back here next week with Nick. Say, how do you pronounce his last name? Unijeski. Obvious. I have a week to get it right. Nick will be here next week. Come on back. We have 2 more weeks of Run for Something endorsed candidates that are going to be here at the show.
We have the table outside, and we have Flo at the table for Run for Something. So if you haven't stopped by that table, go get some pins, go get active. We have all sorts of things you can sign up for. Go check out the table. Thank you. Good night, motherfuckers.
Bye.